For much of my life, I have struggled with depression. I have received therapy, lots of therapy, taken medications, and practiced mindfulness and meditation as I've learned it here at the temple. All of these have been very helpful. And I'm happy and relieved to say that I currently experience a good amount of well-being in my life. Yay for that. However, there remains a sticky stronghold. Every evening as I brush my teeth, floss, wash my face in preparation for bed, I feel quite low. It feels like the depression is saying, "You think you are rid of me? Dream on, Anne. I've still got a hold of you." It's depressing, to say the least. Recently, a passage in our scripture book reached out to me, seeming to present an invitation. The invitation was for self-examination. To help me with this self-examination, I decided to have an imaginary, this is completely imaginary, conversation with Master Sotesan and the 19th century poet Emily Dickinson. I start by asking Master Sotesan how I might start working on my evening blues. He said, and this is from chapter 3, verse 1, "You must assess and check your mind over and over to see whether or not your mind ground is disturbed, diluted, or subject to wrongdoing. You must do this until ultimately you reach a state in which the mind needs no checking. It is said that a person's mind is so extremely subtle that it exists when you take hold of it, but disappears when you let it go. How then can a person cultivate one's mind without checking it?" I say, assess and check my mind, take hold of it. What could that mean for me with my evening blues? I decide to assess by first noticing. Close examination shows me that I feel a heaviness in the dumps, even painful intrusive memories when I'm sure I have humiliated myself. These memories are like eruptions of shame that seem to bubble up out of nowhere. To use Master Sotesan's word, my mind is disturbed. This examination leads to an initial discovery. I'm tired. My brain is tired. I need sleep. This discovery leads to an awareness. Wow, look at how deeply affected my mood is by my physical state. I try out a choice. I could hold this heaviness as some intractable, permanent personal trait, or simply fatigue. This feels a little bit better. "Miss Dickinson," I ask, "any comment at this point?" She says, "The thought beneath so slight a film is more distinctly seen." I'll read that again. "The thought beneath so slight a film is more distinctly seen." Ah, I say, there was a thought I had not seen. The thought was that I'm tired every night. I will be tired every night. I'm stuck with this heaviness. The film that covered this thought was my deluded belief that I am a depressed person. It's who I am and who I always will be. "Thank you, Miss Dickinson," I say. She smiles enigmatically, like her poetry. Sometime after the realization of this deeper, more subtle connection between my body and my state of mind, I noticed feeling slightly better in the evening, but still quite heavy. With a sigh, I say to Master Sotesan, "I tried to take a closer look. I did see and learn something useful, and I still feel heavy." From chapter 3, verse 59, Master Sotesan calmly, patiently replied, "People who cultivate their mind feels well are like good farmers who keep weeding their fields again and again until they eliminate all the weeds and are growing only crops, thereby reaping a good harvest in the autumn. In the same way, you must investigate over and over the arising of wholesome and unwholesome mental states. When an unwholesome mental state arises, you must eliminate it completely, nourishing only the wholesome mental state so that wisdom and merit will always be abundant. I thank him for his wisdom and, grumbling, hopefully, respectfully, returned to my mind field. This time, I noticed this weed of my evening blues has deep roots. I've been trying to pull it out, but it keeps growing back. My discovery this go-round is that this state of mind is deeply rooted in me. My new awareness is that it is a product of old patterns in me, deep conditioning. I make a different choice this time. What would happen if I conditioned my mind in a new, more wholesome direction by practicing gratitude each night? So I focus on the water freely flowing each time I turn the faucet on, the delicious warmth of the water, the miracle of an electric toothbrush, the brilliant people who invented floss, the thimbleful of wisdom that emerged from that was that old patterns of thought and mood can become deeply conditioned, seem normal, and therefore resistant to our even being aware of them. If we aren't aware of this conditioning, how can we choose a healthier way to respond to it? We cannot change something we are not aware of. Miss Dickinson, I ask, any way in here? She says, we noticed smallest things overlooked before, by this great light upon our minds, italicized as it were. I reply, yes, Miss Dickinson, this awareness of these old conditioned patterns or weeds within me shines a bright light. There is relief in seeing more clearly the truth of what's going on inside me. Master Sotesan gently repeats, you must investigate over and over the arising of wholesome and unwholesome states. The good farmer weeds his or her field again and again. So I go back to the drawing board. This time I make a different choice. I'll see what happens if I just sit with the heaviness, invite it in for tea, as Thich Nhat Hanh suggests, and see what it has to say. So I sat with it, open, listening, receptive, and it vanished. What? I say to myself. I think I need to concentrate on it more. Really focus my mind. Focusing. Okay, there it is. I feel the heaviness. And then, again, it evaporated like mist in a breeze. This presence and disappearance continued. Examination this go-round birthed a new awareness. When I look closely, these blues are not constant. It's always changing. Sometimes it's there and sometimes not. The snippet of wisdom from this awareness is that our assumptions about our mental states can blind us to the reality of the actual experience of something. Realizing this truth felt like a clearing out within myself. Master Sotesan nods his head gently and says, over and over, again and again. Miss Dickinson says, what fortitude the soul contains, that it can so endure, the accent of a coming foot, the opening of a door. As a result of taking a deep breath and opening the door over and over, I've noticed in the last month or two feeling more neutral in the evenings. The intrusive shame-filled memories have all but stopped. I'll take it. To be honest, however, my sense is that examining my inner state in the evenings will be for me an evolving process of weed pulling. While I don't enjoy even a little heaviness in the evenings, I can sincerely say I enjoy this path of self-examination. That is, noticing, discovery, new awarenesses, fresh choices in response, and accumulating teaspoons of wisdom. Perhaps my evenings are one of my most useful vehicles for growth, moving me down the road to ever-increasing clarity, reduced suffering, and wonder. I'd like to close with the words of another great poet who explored self-examination. This is an excerpt from The Well by David Whyte. But the miracle had come simply from allowing yourself to know that you had found it, that this time someone walking out into the clear air from far inside you had decided not to walk past it anymore. No, the miracle had already happened when you stood up, shook off the dust, and walked toward the mountain, as if already home again, as if you deserved what you loved all along, as if just remembering the taste of that clear, cool spring could lift up your face and set you free.